Have you ever wanted to use the ray gun from Call of Duty Zombies in multiplayer?
I know I do.
Well, thanks to WedgeWammer Wames, we're going to be able to do that with Modern Warfare 3 Season 1. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Call of Duty dropped the Season 1 roadmap for Modern Warfare 3, and the season is going to be starting December 6th, and I'm not going to lie, this roadmap is jam-packed with stuff, so we're going to go over everything one step at a time instead of just looking at the whole thing, because honestly, it is a little overwhelming, and there is a lot of content here. This is looking significantly better than what we had last year for Modern Warfare 2 Season 1. So let's jump into it. So right off the bat for multiplayer, there's going to be 4 new multiplayer maps. The first one is a 6v6 map called
Meat.
This map has generated a lot of memes, and I'm not quite sure why, but it is rumored to be a smaller map, and it could be pretty good for grinding weapon camos and getting a lot of kills and XP. The next map is also for 6v6, and it's called Grease. Now, this map is looking a little bit bigger, and judging from this map overview, it looks like you'll be able to swim on both sides of the map, so I'm not exactly sure how this one's going to go over, but this map will also be available at the start of Season 1. Now, later in Season 1, there's going to be another 6v6 map called Rio. Now, similar to Favela, this map will also be taking place in Brazil. It definitely has a very similar kind of like color palette, but the layout of the map is kind of giving me some Slums vibes from Black Ops 2, but this map, I believe, is also a brand new map. It's not a remake. This one looks to be a little bit more medium-sized, and just right off the bat, we have a good variety of what looks to be a small, medium, and large 6v6 multiplayer maps coming out with Season 1, so we have some decent variety. But next up, we have Gunfight already coming back to the game with Season 1, and they're going to be dropping this brand new map called Training Facility. This one's going to be available at the start of Season 1, and I'd imagine that they're going to be probably bringing back some classic gunfight maps that we've had from Modern Warfare 2019, as well as Modern Warfare 2, because if this is the only map that we had at the start, this really wouldn't be that much, and people would probably get burnt out on Gunfight a lot faster. But just as a heads up, they did not mention which maps are specifically coming back right at the start for Gunfight in Modern Warfare 3. Now, obviously, we know that Gunfight is coming back with Season 1, but we're also going to be seeing the return of All or Nothing. This game mode first debuted in the original Modern Warfare 3, and it's really cool to see it coming back so quickly back into the game. Although they could have obviously had it right at the beginning of launch, but we already know how it goes at this point with party games. It's treated as seasonal content, but I'm just glad that it's coming back a lot sooner. But guys, this is without a doubt the coolest sounding game mode that we're going to be getting for Season 1. Now, granted, it's not going to be at launch, it's going to be later in the season, but it's a limited time mode called Vortex. And as you can see here, we have a soldier holding the ray gun, which, yes, this confirms that you'll be able to finally use the ray gun in multiplayer. This is something that always sounded so cool. It's almost like a dream come true for Call of Duty, like the crossover between zombies and multiplayer. It's kind of starting to happen. Now, granted, it's not going to be staying in multiplayer. It's not like it's going to be a gun you can always equip, you know, rank the weapon up and then get interstellar camo or something like that for it. That's not how it's going to go. The description for the mode says, in this free-for-all mode, one player spawns in with the infamous zombies wonder weapon, the one-shot ray gun. Whoever eliminates the operator with the ray gun becomes the new owner of this powerful and otherworldly pistol. Vortex takes place on 3 remixed multiplayer maps: Satan's Quarry, Spore Yard, and Tetanus. I'm going to assume that this one is Spore Yard because this is clearly Scrapyard for multiplayer, but it kind of has this spore theme, so this really is like a crossover of zombies and multiplayer. Now, I can't confirm this 100%, but this is apparently similar to another variant game mode called Golden Gun, and if this description is correct, the ray gun will be a one-shot kill in multiplayer, so it's going to be pretty deadly, and this should be a pretty intense and fun game mode for people to play and try out. They are saying that this is going to be a limited time mode, so obviously you're only going to have so much time to play it, but if it's a fan favorite and people really enjoy it, I would love to see it either stay in the game or come back at some point. We also have another limited time mode coming mid-season called Santa's Slayground. The description for this says, Season's Eatings. Santa Naws is here to spread horror and fear. Complete event challenges to earn rewards and visit classic holiday-themed maps, including Shipmas and Hangover. Just try not to get bitten. Expect more information on this event and additional limited time modes closer to mid-season. So they're really not giving us too much information here. I want to assume that this could be similar to the Vanguard Krampus mode that we had, where every so often Krampus is gonna spawn on the map and you have to try to take him down, and I think you get like a care package or something for killing him. I'm sorry if my memory is doing me dirty right now because I try to wipe my memory of Vanguard. But who knows? We don't have that much information about this mode, but it sounds pretty interesting. Now, they're saying that the maps include Shipmas and Hangover. Should be safe to say that Shipmas is just going to be a holiday version of Shipment, which could be the exact same one that we saw in Modern Warfare 2, so maybe not anything too special there, but I'm not exactly sure what map Hangover could be. But if you guys have any guesses, let me know in the comments. And if we back it up to the Vortex limited time mode, I think it's pretty safe to say that Satan's Quarry is most likely going to be Quarry, Spore Yard is Scrapyard, and then as far as goes for Tetanus, I'm going to assume that that is Rust. So 2 smaller size maps, and then Quarry, unless they section it off, that's going to be a pretty big map for free-for-all. But yes, we're also going to see the return of Infected later on in Season 1, as well as the classic game mode Headquarters. I don't really think I need to explain too much about those game modes, but this picture is pretty interesting because this could be potentially teasing some upcoming skins coming into the game. Now, whether or not you have to spend money on them or if you can earn them, I can't say for sure. But one thing worth mentioning is that for the Infected picture, it looks like they're just using Favela, whereas for the Headquarters picture, this looks like it could be teasing the brand new Rio map. We're also getting another game mode mid-season called Team Gunfight. This is described as a 6v6 version of Gunfight played on standard multiplayer maps. Players all receive the same randomized loadout at the start of each round. This loadout changes throughout the match. The team that best adapts to the assigned gear is bound to land the eliminations needed to earn victory. So it's 6v6 gunfight on the standard 6v6 multiplayer maps. That sounds pretty interesting. It's basically a one life 6v6 mode, but you have to try to kill each other with random guns, and if you can't do so, you're most likely going to have to try to capture the end game objective. When I was first reading this, I was thinking, ooh, this could be like 6v6 face-off from Black Ops Cold War, which I really enjoyed, which is essentially playing 6v6 on the gunfight maps, which more or less feels like playing shipments, but on different maps. I believe we did not get that last year with Modern Warfare 2, and we didn't have anything like that in Vanguard, and I'm not too sure if Sledgehammer has plans to do that, but it would be nice to see that come into the game, because players will get burnt out on grinding Rust and shipment all the time. Now, this next one is definitely pretty controversial, and we're gonna have to see how this plays out when it's actually added to the game, but they're gonna be bringing in a new vest called the Assassin Vest. Now, if I'm reading this correctly, you will still get both of your equipment slots, so you'll be able to choose and spawn in with a tactical and lethal grenade, but you won't have a field upgrade if you use this vest. And then you're also given 3 gear slots, gloves, boots, and gear, which is pretty standard for a lot of the vests. And here's the bonuses that you get, which is really why a lot of people are frustrated with this vest right off the bat. It says here that kills will not display enemy skulls, and you're immune to UAV and enemy radar effects, including while stationary, so you don't have to be moving. It also says duplicate effects do not stack, and if you equip it with the Ghost TV camo gear, you gain the effects of hijacked IFF strobe gear. So the reason why this one is getting people kind of frustrated is because this vest is essentially a stronger version of Ghost. And so far in Modern Warfare 3, Ghost has been kind of buggy in the sense that if you stop moving for even like a brief period of time, you will still show up on the UAV. So I feel like this vest is to kind of counteract that. It's sounding like you can confidently equip the Assassin Vest, and you don't really have to worry about it showing up on the enemy UAV at all. Now, obviously, this does come with a slight downside by removing the field upgrade, and I'm not exactly sure how many of you guys might agree or disagree with me on this, but I just don't feel like this is the direction that we need to be going right off the bat for Modern Warfare 3. Because a vest like this serves one of two purposes. It either allows someone who plays very passively and likes to camp to have an even better chance of doing that because now you can't find them, or it could also potentially benefit people who play aggressively and don't want to be found at all. One thing I was really hoping to see for Modern Warfare 3 right off the bat, and they could have maybe turned this into a vest, was trying to find a way to slip quick fix back into the game. With the slower time to kill in Modern Warfare 3, I think a lot of people want to find a more consistent way to get their health to regenerate faster in the game, and I don't know, I just don't feel like an Assassin Vest is the best choice. Like the best direction to go for Season 1, I think it would have been nicer to see them move more in that aggressive rush playstyle kind of direction and maybe give us like a quick fix vest instead. That might be something that they're potentially considering, but at the moment, the Assassin Vest is looking pretty strong. All I'm gonna say is you're probably not gonna find me using this thing unless I'm trying to get a ninja defuse and search and destroy. Now, they describe these as some new kill streaks coming with the launch of Season 1, but really, they're kind of more classic Call of Duty kill streaks, and I'm really happy to see both of these come back. The first one we have is the Swarm from Black Ops 2. Absolutely devastatingly strong kill streak, and it's gonna be really interesting to see this come back. And interestingly enough, we have the direct counter to the Swarm kill streak coming back, which is the EMP from the original Modern Warfare 2. To earn the Swarm in multiplayer, you either have to get 15 kills or 1,875 points, and it says it's going to deploy a large number of mosquito drones to provide blanket coverage over the entire area. And for the EMP, you either need to earn 13 kills or 1,625 points, and it describes it as an electromagnetic pulse to disrupt enemy kill streaks and equipment. Now, it doesn't say for how long, but if it works just like any other Call of Duty EMP, it's going to be a direct hard counter to basically every streak in the game, and it can last from anywhere from like 30 to 60 seconds, but they didn't say how long, so we'll just have to wait and see. Guys, you already know I'm excited for this. Unfortunately, it's not going to be at the start of the season, but mid-season for Season 1 in Modern Warfare 3, we are getting ranked play. And we get an early look at what the skins look like. They're kind of winter themed, themed. They might not blend you in as much as the Modern Warfare 2 like black hoodie ranked play skin, but it still looks kind of cool. I feel like they kind of went with like a skier or snowboarder style skin. Definitely winter themed, and it looks pretty neat. They have this big old description for ranked play, but I'm pretty sure this is going to work just like it did for Modern Warfare 2. We have a top 250 leaderboard. We have the skill divisions and all that stuff. It's probably going to work just like it did in Modern Warfare 2. You have to earn SR, you rank up and all that stuff, and I'm sure they're going to be giving rewards depending on how far you get. But they didn't drop a ton of information about ranked play quite yet. They're just sort of teasing it right now. Next up, we have some new stuff coming to Modern Warfare Zombies, and it is looking so good. Right off the bat, there's going to be a new story mission that you can complete for zombies, which should be pretty cool. We're also going to have Dark Aether Rifts, which is apparently a new labyrinth-like experience, challenging squads to complete a series of objectives in a set amount of time. You have to find sigils to unlock the new Dark Aether Rifts and earn rewards on completion. And there's also going to be the VR-11 Wonder Weapon coming into the game, new schematics, and a new fortress on the map with a new warlord enemy. Oh my god, it's the Alaskan bullworm! So here's the description for Dark Aether Rifts, and I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work because it says that players and their squad have 30 minutes to complete a series of increasingly chaotic objectives. Now, right off the bat, looking at this picture, it looks like this is just going to be part of the experience, the typical map that you play on, so I don't think you need to queue into something separately to do a Dark Aether Rift. But the big question is, if this is going to take 30 minutes, does that subtract from the allotted hour that we get to play zombies? Or does this potentially let us play for even longer? Who knows? I mean, maybe when you complete the rift, you're able to just exfil immediately. This is all the information that we have so far, and it doesn't really give us a lot to work with. But it's sounding like it's going to be pretty difficult and challenging, and hopefully you'll get some decent rewards for beating it. Next up, we have the return of the VR-11 Wonder Weapon from Black Ops 1. You can shoot zombies with this Wonder Weapon, and it will transform them into humans. Or if you shoot this at the mercs on the map, it's going to transform them into friendly zombies. Definitely a really cool throwback, and it's going to be really fun to see how this plays out in Modern Warfare Zombies. Next up, there's going to be 3 new schematics coming to zombies that sound very useful. The first one is the dog bone schematic. It will basically let you spawn in with a dog bone that will instantly allow you to go to the dog house and have a hellhounds follow you around. If you guys have fed the dog and had it follow you around before, you'll know that it will just attack zombies and kind of help you out until it runs out of health. So it sounds like the schematic will basically let you spawn in with a dog bone and pretty much guarantee that you'll be able to get the dog to follow you around whenever you want to get its help. Next up is another extremely useful sounding schematic called the Golden Armor Plate, and it says when you consume the Golden Armor Plate, it replaces the armor carrier with plates that automatically repair over time, in addition to providing the user additional damage resistances. I think this one's going to be a top tier schematic depending on how fast it automatically regenerates the armor plates. When you go into the medium to high threat zones in zombies, it can get very difficult, and I'm sure that having something like this will be very, very useful in those situations. And lastly, we have a really cool sounding schematic called the Aether Blade. It's a special throwing knife with infinite ammo and a boomerang-like combat style. It says here, after striking an enemy, the Aether Blade locates the next nearest enemy to hit before returning to its operator. So yeah, in essence, it sounds like it's an infinite boomerang that you can spam over and over again, and it sounds like it's gonna be probably one of the best lethal equipments in the game. But it is also a schematic, so I don't know if you'll be able to use it as often as other lethal equipment. Now, this fortress with the new warlord is coming mid-season, so it's not gonna be here immediately. I personally haven't done any of the fortresses in zombies quite yet, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be pretty challenging and difficult. But I want to assume that if you beat one of these fortresses, you'll probably get one of the new schematics to drop from completing it and beating it. But next up, let's talk about Warzone. It's not gonna be called Warzone 2.0 or 3.0. I think they learned their lesson from last year. We are just gonna be seeing the return of Warzone, and it's gonna start off by bringing us the Urzikstan map, which we've been playing zombies on. They're also gonna be carrying forward Vondel and Ashika Island, and they're also saying that there's gonna be a Codmas event. It says here, encounter the zombie Santa, go undead deer hunting, open the presents under the holiday trees, all while engaging in new challenges, events with rewards, and more. Just don't forget to bring snowballs. I gotta be honest, this is my first time actually seeing this deep dive picture for Warzone, but it's looking pretty good. I'm not a huge Warzone guy, but from what I've seen from the community, it seems like they're overall having a pretty good reception to the stuff that we're seeing right here. Now, as we scroll down, we're gonna find some more info, and you can also see the map overview for Urzikstan right here. Again, if you've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare Zombies, then I think you're gonna be pretty familiar with the map layout. Now, as far as it goes for Warzone specific movement changes, they have outlined here that there will be slide canceling, tack stance, ADS while sliding, running while reloading, a slight movement boost when using the stim, as well as additional changes in the upcoming patch notes. Now, interestingly enough, it sounds like the movement might be different than multiplayer and zombies. It could potentially be even faster. Okay, yes, I found the section that details the quality of life updates with more specifics. So for the backup pistol, you'll always have a dedicated pistol when swimming or climbing ladders or ledge hanging banging no matter what you have in your loadout. For improved water combat, it says, alongside the dedicated pistol, improvements have been made to water visibility such that it is now easier to see targets both when in and out of the water. This is definitely really nice because I remember getting into some really wonky gunfights in Modern Warfare 2 or like Warzone 2, where you're just having these extremely awkward gunfights where both players can't really see each other and you're just kind of blind firing in the water. It was pretty chaotic and funny at times, but if you're really trying to get a win, it's not going to be too fun when you can't see the other person, but they can potentially see you and then kill you. Next up is the manual gas mask. It says you can now manually choose when to equip the gas mask. When looking at a gas mask on the ground, players are presented with two options. You can either equip it or you can stow it. Equipping the gas mask will begin the equip animation of putting it onto their face. Stowing the gas mask will place it in the backpack for players to manually equip at a later time. As a result, the animation will no longer interrupt gameplay, and importantly, players will only hear the heavy breathing sound effect while in the gas. That is definitely a very interesting one, but I also think it's going to be kind of difficult for players to quickly manually equip a gas mask when they really need it. But either way, I know that so many people, myself included, were frustrated with auto gas masks getting themselves killed because they can't properly get into a gunfight because the gas mask is being put on and someone else is already prepared to take you down. Definitely a pretty interesting quality of life update, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out in Warzone now. There's going to be an experimental gas grenade. It says this tear gas tactical now deals gas damage and as such can be countered with an equipped gas mask. Honestly, that sounds extremely annoying, but we'll have to see how that plays out once we can actually play Warzone. Dedicated ammo slots. Specific new backpack slots cater to ammo, allowing quick access and easy access. These slots will be automatically filled as players find ammo. Additional ammo can still be stored in the all-purpose backpack slots. So it's almost kind of sounding like the Pokemon backpack, like originally in Gen 1, everything would just go into one big backpack, but then in later generations, there were separate slots for different things. So you'd have like a Pokeball section, special items, TMs, and all that stuff. It sounds like we're gonna have a separate backpack for just holding ammo. That sounds like a pretty nice quality of life change. Okay, here we go, loot rarity. Weapons, equipment, kill streaks, and more will now appear with a color-coded tooltip to indicate the value and rarity of the item, as well as if a weapon is from a custom loadout. Okay, so maybe the weapon won't be inherently stronger. You know what I mean? Like a base weapon ACR versus a legendary ACR. I think maybe the only discrepancy is gonna be how many attachments are on that gun. Next up, we have a contract activation laptop. It says players will now activate contracts by interacting with larger, more easily identifiable laptops found throughout the map. I think this will be a pretty nice change because sometimes it can be kind of hard to find the contract location. So the more obvious it is to find it, I think that will be a good thing. Updated TAC map icons. It says the entirety of the TAC map has been updated to better serve you with a variety of easily distinguishable new icons. The main thing I noticed from the image they showed was color coding different things. So hopefully it will be easier to navigate the TAC map and make it easier for us to just use it overall. Obviously, we know what classic red dots are. The classic minimap is going to be in Warzone. So if you fire an unsuppressed weapon, it will show you on the minimap temporarily. To be fair, I'm not exactly sure how the Warzone community and the players feel about this, because especially towards the end game, people who have suppressed weapons will most likely have a bigger advantage at the end. Thankfully, Sledgehammer does have a suppressor that you can use in the game and put on your loadouts that doesn't have any other downsides, and it will just hide you from the minimap. I believe it's the Shadow Strike suppressor, but you know, we will have to wait and see how that plays out. There's also some barrels that have integrated suppressors that will give you other advantages too, so we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. I know for multiplayer, having classic red dots come back is a massive W, but I'm not sure if that translates the same way into Warzone's gameplay. But if you're someone who plays a lot of Warzone, you can let me know in the comments. Next up, we have improved loot spreading. Players will now notice that the loot distribution and spread when opening a supply box or eliminating an enemy has received improvements to minimize loot overlap and facilitate loot identification. This is very nice. I would hope what they mean by that is when you open up a supply box or if you kill someone, the visibility of the loot will be much better and it will be spread out so that way you're not accidentally picking up things that you don't want. And lastly, it says quality of life carry forward. For the new chapter of Warzone, all existing quality of life improvements that have been made this year will carry forward. So that's sounding pretty good so far, and hopefully this is good for the Warzone side of things. Season 1's going to bring in 5 new free weapons as well as 9 different aftermarket parts, which should be pretty interesting. Obviously, the battle pass is coming back, but they're also going to be bringing back Black Cell. I was not the biggest fan of Black Cell in Modern Warfare 2, but a lot of that had to do with my frustrations with how the game and the gameplay was going back then. They were very slowly starting to turn things around with the final season in Modern Warfare 2, and as far as goes for Modern Warfare 3, I am really enjoying the game. The Black Cell is totally optional. If you want to buy it, you can, and if you don't have to. The biggest benefit is really just the tier skips so you can get through the battle pass faster. Typically, the Black Cell skins skins are just reskinned versions of other skins, and they don't even really look that good. So if you want to buy it, you can, and if you don't, who cares? As far as it goes for other bundles coming to the store, I don't really care to cover that. They will have a Santa Claus skin, and they're having some crossovers with the boys again, as well as Dune. But again, I don't really care about the store stuff that much. I mostly care about the gameplay and the new content coming to the game. We already knew that we were not going to be getting classic prestige, and once again, we're going to have seasonal prestiging and seasonal leveling. It's obviously not as good as classic prestige, but given the development cycle for Modern Warfare 3, it's pretty understandable as to why it's not coming back. They say here additional comms regarding the future of DMZ, but we actually got an update that basically said that DMZ is done for. There's absolutely no plans for DMZ in Modern Warfare 3, and it's essentially staying back in Modern Warfare 2. Infinity Ward also made a post about this, and they didn't even explicitly say that DMZ is coming back. They just said that they learned a lot from the experience of the mode. So yeah, if you're someone who really got into DMZ in Modern Warfare 2, unfortunately, I would not get your hopes up for the future of an extraction mode in Call of Duty. I personally thought it was a cool concept, but I don't think it was executed that well. It was fun and casual to play from time to time, but ultimately I think there's better extraction experiences out there. And obviously this was their first test, their first iteration of it. But since they need to focus on campaign and multiplayer and Warzone and zombies and other stuff, last year it just felt like they were getting way too bloated with Modern Warfare 2, and there was way too many different things to focus on, and ultimately they couldn't focus on anything. And that's actually a big reason why I feel like last year's COD game fell flat. There was really no focus or direction. They just wanted to do a bunch of different things at once, and it was probably way too much. But yeah, let's take a look at the brand new weapons coming with Season 1. At launch, there's going to be a new sniper called the XRK Stalker, and this thing looks so good. I'm not exactly sure if it's the MSR, but it kind of looks like it. But either way, it's a bolt-action sniper, and hopefully it's fast. Hopefully it's good for quickscoping. They're describing this as a 50 cal sniper. For one-hit eliminations, look no further. The XRK Stalker sniper rifle deals massive damage and is highly customizable to support multiple playstyles. Enhance the weapon's velocity and stability and strike from the shadows, or improve its handling capabilities to become a quickscoping menace. I like the longbow. It's insanely good for aggressive play, but I think we need to have another sniper to kind of balance it out, you know? Next up, we have the Ram 7 coming back from Modern Warfare 2019. This was basically the TAR 21 from the original Modern Warfare 2. I'm not gonna lie, this one's not as exciting to me, although I do love the original TAR 21 from Modern Warfare 2. But overall, as we go over the new guns, you're gonna see that we have some pretty good variety here, and getting the Ram 7 back is not necessarily a bad thing. But the next Season 1 launch weapon we're getting is potentially questionable. It's a new shotgun called the Storm Ender. The in-game description says this state-of-the-art weapon system fires a localized EMP on a slight delay. It destroys tactical and lethal equipment and temporarily disables other electronic devices. It says here this brand new weapon has the power to shoot down specific kill streaks and take out drones with its lock-on capabilities. With unlimited recharging ammo and the ability to disable and delay enemy equipment, this weapon serves as a very real shock to the system, though damage to the operator is minimal. Are we getting a shotgun that's basically supposed to fill the role of a launcher? Like, are people gonna use this as a secondary primary and just use it to take down like UAVs and stuff? I'm not sure what the purpose of this thing is. It's definitely interesting. Hopefully it can get a one-hit kill in hardcore, because if it's doing minimal player damage, then it's not really going to be much of a threat. And honestly, the shotgun could just turn out to be a real piece of shit. But I'm definitely curious to see how it plays out once we have access to it. Later in the season, we're going to be getting a new SMG called the HRM-9, and this is not a battle pass thing, it's an armory unlock. It's described as a light yet stable 9mm submachine gun for close quarters combat and putting down enemies quickly. They say it has a high fire rate and excellent handling and mobility. It's perfect for aggressive run and gun playstyles, so I think I'm gonna like that. Yeah, sounds like this SMG is gonna be an absolute demon on rust and shipments if it really does perform that way. I'm not exactly sure what kind of SMG this is supposed to be replicating, but you guys will probably let me know in the comments. And lastly, we're gonna get another brand new weapon later in the season called the TAC Evolver or Evolver. Either way, it's an LMG, and it kind of looks like the RAL MG. It's described as an advanced multi-caliber LMG capable of firing 7.62 or 5.56 with minimal adjustments to the weapon. They're saying it's capable of taking down both infantry and artillery, whichever chooses to cross its path. A wide variety of attachments are available in the gunsmith, allowing you to tailor it to any playstyle. I mean, I don't know, it just looks more like the Hammer LMG because of the folded bipod right here, but it might not perform the way that the Hammer does, compared to the TAC Eradicator, which we just got. Either way, this is sounding like a very interesting LMG, which is kind of a rare thing because typically the LMGs are not that interesting. But yes, that's all 5 of the new weapons that are going to be coming with Season 1. We have a pretty big variety coming, and so far that's a lot more weapons than we got at the start of Season 1 for Modern Warfare 2 last year. Oh, what is that? That's apparently one of the aftermarket parts? Wait, what? Wait, what? We're getting a flamethrower underbarrel? Dude, this is my first time seeing it. Oh, dear Lord. The last time we saw something like that was in Black Ops 1. What is this game? Oh my God, it's almost like turning into COD Online at this point, where they're taking so many fan favorite things and putting it into one game. This is crazy. Here's some of the other ones. Look at this. This is for the tier pistol, the Jack Beholder rifle kit, the flamethrower underbarrel attachment. We have the Jack Eden double barrel kit. I think that might be for the AMR-9. It looks like you'll be able to fire 2 barrels at once. That's gonna make the gun insane. And then we have the Jack Bullseye. I'm not exactly sure what that's gonna do and what gun that is on, but I mean, hey. So for the flamethrower underbarrel, it's gonna be compatible with, I think, basically all of the assault rifles in the game, as well as all of the battle rifles, and then the Riveter shot. Why would they put it on the shotgun, the full auto shotgun? Oh my God, dude, that's ridiculous. Okay, I was right. For the Jack Eden barrel kits, it's going to be compatible with the AMR-9. That's going to be insane. It's probably going to have a lot of recoil, but hopefully the damage makes it worthwhile. Okay, so for the Jack Thunder LMG kit, this is going to be for the Sidewinder. It's going to turn the Sidewinder into an LMG. That is disgusting. The Sidewinder is already so terrible. I think it's going to make for an amazing cursed gun video, dude. We have the Jack BRB. It's compatible with many assault rifles, SMGs, battle rifles, marksman rifles, and snipers. They describe it as go loud. This compensator borders on excessive, offering a phenomenal reduction to recoil while significantly increasing muzzle report, resulting in an extended red dot on enemy radars. Oh my God. Oh, they're redacting the information for some of these. Oh my God. The Jack Bullseye. Very low profile dot optic, limited interference from framework, offers an exceptionally clear sight picture. Next up, we have the Jack Glassless optic. Again, the compatibility is redacted, and it says the small glassless reflex optic offers a crisp and clear sight picture for some snappy target acquisition. That one sounds pretty interesting. Next up, we have the Jack Signal Burst for just the Holger 5.56, and it's going to turn it into a 4-round burst assault rifle. Obviously, earlier we saw the Jack Beholder rifle kit. It's just for the tier handgun. It's a long and heavy barrel that offers the best increase to range and improves recoil control and damage range, converting this handgun into a single-shot rifle. Oh my God, are they turning this into the RW1 from Advanced Warfare, dude? This game is insane! What is going on? Sledgehammer. Wow. I mean, we will have to see how that plays out, but people have already kind of made like quick scoping builds with this pistol anyway, and I think that's just gonna make it even more fun. And lastly here, we have the Jack Headhunter carbine conversion kit for just the Rifle 9 SMG, and it's gonna turn it into a 3-round burst SMG. The Rifle 9 is already like the go-to pro SMG of choice. Now, I'm sure this will be banned in CDL. I would assume it's not gonna make the Rifle 9 better than the base weapon, but we'll have to see. I think this is them teasing the battle pass for season 1. I'm not seeing anything too crazy. That's usually how it goes with the battle pass. I think the biggest wins for the battle pass are just going to be the new weapons. I think that's what we all want more than anything. We have an update about the weekly challenges, and it looks like for the month, you're going to get a new camo called Coherence. Definitely a pretty interesting color combination, and it looks like, oh wait, look at this. We actually have 8 weeks of weekly challenges. So you'll have to do 2 months of weekly challenges to get this camo. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those aftermarket parts are the weekly unlock rewards for doing weekly challenges. Honestly, I love this system. This is gonna add so much depth and replay value to the multiplayer, and Sledgehammer, Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna lie, I had some really low expectations going into this game, but just from looking at all of this so far, this is looking insane, man. Like, what the there's gonna be so much to do for the first season of this game. Like, oh, we are set, boys. Jesus. We also have prestige challenges. It's a bear that eventually gets so angry that it becomes, I think, a skeleton. We'll be able to hit level 250. Look at the calling cards. I'm assuming this is for multiplayer and then also zombies as well. I think they also had this in Modern Warfare 2, but I didn't really pay attention to this. But basically, every time you prestige, you unlock different challenges that can get you some different calling cards as well. But you have to complete those challenges, and it looks like you'll be able to do them in both multiplayer and zombies. Although here at Prestige 5, you'll also be able to get a blueprint for the MTZ 556. It seems like Sledgehammer is trying their best to make the seasonal prestiges at least somewhat more interesting, but that's still going to be pretty hard to do when most of the community wants to see classic prestige mode come back. And they do have this section that says the future of DMZ. They gave players an update. Basically, you can still play it, but there's not going to be a lot of cross-play or cross-progression between DMZ and Modern Warfare 3, and it's not carrying forward. So yeah, you will not be able to play DMZ to progress the Season 1 Battle Pass. You're not going to be able to really earn XP, I think, for Modern Warfare 3. So overall, you're going to be playing DMZ just because you love the mode. It's not really going to do anything else for you at all. Heyo, we got the CDL pack and the 2024 season. Now these skins, this is more or less what I expected to see. Yeah, so this is the CDL launch pack. You can buy this if you want. I kind of feel like people will be rocking their Modern Modern Warfare 2 ranked play skins though. Guys, if you can believe it, that is everything that we know so far for Season 1 in Modern Warfare 3. My initial reaction is holy obviously, before going into this video, I already knew that this season was going to be massive, but dude, there were some surprises towards the ends there, and honestly, my mind is just blown. But obviously, that's just my take on it, and I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What do you guys think about Modern Warfare 3 Season 1? Do you think it looks good? Is this somehow not enough content for a Call of Duty season? Because I think without a doubt, this is undeniably the biggest Call of Duty season we've ever seen. And honestly, at this point, my only potential worry about seeing a roadmap that's this big of a W is whether or not they can continue giving us this much content every season, because this is going to be really hard to top. But either way, I think this is the best way going forward for them to handle the first season of a game. The game has the most amount of players, the most amount of hype, and typically that tends to go down as the game progresses. But if you drop a season like this with this much content and it's actually good, I would really hope that that translates to players being happy and continuing to play the game and then recommends the game to their friends, and that could be much better for the longevity of the game versus launching with a pitifully weak first season and then neglecting the game, and then it causes the player base to significantly drop off. There's a reason I called them WedgeWammer Wames at the start of the video. It's because they are just such a W studio right now, and aside from the out of the map glitch on War not being fixed at the time of recording this, I really am so happy for how this game has turned out so far, and it looks like the future of this game is going to be pretty good. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm sorry if this video was a little long, but this is just a lot of new content, you know? And I wanted to try to go over the most important parts while also not skipping over too much. But either way, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did enjoy this video and you're looking forward to the first season of Modern Warfare 3, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later.
Outcome, Tango.